There's a lot of things you need to consider before you make that jump into full-time YouTube. And this is one of my business advisors and financial accountant, Ryan Ippolito. And he's worked with like a lot of YouTube creators, like 70
something like that, yeah.
And he'll share with you some advice that you need to consider before you take that jump, so you know if it's a good time or a bad time to go full-time on YouTube. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer. Welcome to Video Creators. We are all about helping you grow your YouTube audience so you can spread a message that reaches people, changes their lives, and Ryan certainly helps a lot of creators do that as well. When people are getting started on YouTube, they want to go full-time, they're getting close, they feel like, I feel like I can make that jump. What advice do you have for that person?
A lot of YouTubers, they start to get in some revenue, they have a couple $1,000s of money coming in, and then they get a big month, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to quit my job. We talk to a lot of them, and we just want to give them some advice on when the appropriate time financially is to make that decision. First piece of advice is make sure you get some counsel. Don't go ahead and just jump on your own. Talk to your spouse, talk to a financial advisor. Second piece of advice is make sure you have some stable revenue. A lot of YouTube creators have one massive month that they make $20,000 and they're like, I'm quitting my job. But you want to make sure you have 5 or 6 months of steady subscriber growth of revenue coming in order to make sure that you have enough money to go ahead and make this sustainable. Another piece of advice is make sure that you have some money saved up. If you haven't budgeted already, you need to stop and you need to have a budget and see how much money you spend on a monthly basis. When you know how much money you're spending, then you know if all of a sudden your revenue dries up, you have enough money to sustain yourself as an entity, as a family, as a company, as an individual. So make sure you know how much money you're spending on a monthly basis. 2 to 3 months is a good minimum. I've seen people go as much as 6 months of money in the bank to make sure that they're okay to go ahead. Next piece of advice is don't be in a hurry. If you have money coming in from a job and you also have money coming from YouTube, try to ride that wave as long as you can. Don't jump if you don't have to jump. If you can manage them both, do that for as long as you can, and then go ahead and make the jump. The last piece of advice is have a backup plan. There are situations where I've seen YouTube creators, their income just drops off a cliff, and all of a sudden they're in a situation where they don't have a job and they don't have a source of revenue. Don't burn your bridges at your old job. If you want to go part-time first before you go full-time, that's a wonderful thing to do. At a minimum, consider having a backup plan.
One of the things you also have to consider is that when you do this for the very first time, you're gonna be paying a lot of taxes. As an employee, your employer is paying a lot of those taxes, but when you're self-employed, you have to pay them yourself. You can plan on paying about 30% of your income, giving that straight to the government in taxes, at least here in the US. That first year, you're gonna go full-time, plan on making like 30% more or saving 30% of what you make in order to make that jump.
You're somebody who's already done this, so what advice do you have for YouTube creators?
For me, I was kind of forced into this because I was fired, lost my job, and YouTube's what I had, and so I dove in on it. There could be a season of time where you're like, you don't have anything else going on like I did, and it's appropriate for you to like really dive in during that season of life. One of the things that was really good for my wife and I is that we had set aside 3 to 6 months of spending money. We had saved that in the bank, so we had that ready to go. Then I just had a fire lit under me because I was like, I gotta make this work. We got no other option. I had 6 months to go full-time on YouTube. I had to put a plan together, a business plan, a strategy of how I was gonna do this, not just in terms of how I was going to create and deliver value, which is what most creators are really good at. Most creators are missing this capture value part though. They create, deliver, and they don't know how to capture. So you really need a good business model, good plan for how you're going to capture value. And that's what I spent most of my time actually working on, was not, let me just grow the channel, get lots of subscribers, get lots of views so I can hopefully get lots of money. But it was actually that plus how do I actually capture value and working with the people I'm targeting with my channel and really helping them achieve the goals that they want to achieve on YouTube. Biggest thing that made a really big difference for me is having a 3 to 6 months of income saved in the bank, but also doing that budget like Ryan said, so you know exactly how much you were spending. A lot of people, I think they just kind of spend, and they know like, oh, that's a lot of money, that should last me for a year, right? And they don't really know. So doing some math is really helpful. Track your spending for a few months, know what you actually spend, how much you can live on, what you can cut back on, lower expenses, and make it work for you. It really comes down to math and numbers. I've been using Ryan for tax accounting services for years. I highly recommend them. There's a link down below if you guys want to check them out, midatlanticcpas.com. They work with a lot of other YouTube creators, so you guys will be in good hands with Ryan and his team. And if you want to learn more from Ryan about the best business structure for your business on YouTube as a YouTube creator, we did another video. You can click on that on your screen right here from a few years ago and learn more about that. Go check it out with Ryan. See you guys over there.